Crossway, welcome to our guest speaker this morning, Joshua Tongol.
And so, it's been such a wonderful journey for me here in the Philippines. I'm actually a missionary. And a lot of people, when they meet me here, they say, you don't look like a missionary. So I don't really know what a missionary is supposed to look like. But I've been here for 3.5 years, and it's been a good run. And we've had our ups and downs. And what we've been doing is that we've basically just been preaching the good news. And unfortunately, in some ways, some people don't like the good news. Right? It's very interesting. But some people do. And what happens is that when you start preaching the good news, religious people get mad because their efforts seem like it's worthless. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of people don't realize what they already have in Jesus Christ. And what I'm here to do today, I'm not here to offer you anything. I'm here to tell you what you already have. And you probably just didn't know it yet. Is it okay I'm sitting on a stool? I told Aaron I just want to relax. I just want chill. Okay. I just want to relax and just talk from my heart. And like I said, I really appreciate GCI. I'll be preaching next week at the other GCI church. And I really believe that you guys, not just you, but there are other people that have this too. But to see a church that's willing to proclaim the finished work of Jesus Christ, to me, it's a big deal. And I told Aaron and Joyce at dinner before that you're going to have some hostility here because there's a lot of people with a works-oriented mentality here, right? It's not just in the Philippines, it's all over the world. But I was telling him that somebody has to say something, right? You can't wait till everybody's going to be on the same page. And a lot of people will hate you for preaching it, but a lot of people will love you. And a lot of people will say, thank you. Thank you for telling me this. I never knew this my whole life and I grew up in the church. Okay? Naintindihan niyo ba? What I've been realizing as I've been preaching this message of grace and this message of unconditional love, I started to notice, because we interact with a lot of people, either it's through the internet, and some of you, especially the young people, you have messaged me. The young people are there, I guess, right? Some of you have messaged me, and you heard some of my sermons. And as we continue to interact with each other, and we're learning what the real gospel really means, right? And I know some of your history. I've looked into it, and you've had a shift, right? And that we're so certain this is the truth, this is right. Now all of a sudden, what? You're kidding me? Have we been deceived? That's what could go on in your mind, right? Let me tell you, no matter where you're at on your journey with God, you'll be okay. That you don't need to have your theology perfectly worked out in order for God to love you. Okay? You don't need to have all your theology worked out just so you could be accepted by God. Right? And what I started to really see, my wife sees a lot of my nasty emails that I get from Christians. And even from grace preachers. Did you believe that? They're called grace preachers, right? And you could see that the negativity that a theology can create in people's minds when we think that we're superior to another group because we have the truth. And what I want to preach this morning, or to share in my heart this morning, is that I want to show you how big God is. And His love for all of humanity. Not just the Christians. That we're not just this special group and say, hey, we're in and they're out. Let's try to convince them, or else they're going to burn. I don't think that's the gospel, right? And what I started to see as I continued to, on a daily basis, I interact with a lot of Christians, and I see somewhat of a disconnect. What do I mean? They had this understanding up here of what they've been taught, but here, they know what love is. But the struggle is that they're trying to reconcile what they've been taught here and what they already know here. Right? And what a lot of Christians are scared of doing is that they're afraid to live from here. They're afraid to live from their heart. They're afraid to read their Bible with their heart. They're afraid to think with their heart. And that they think knowing God is all about Bible verses. Memorizing scripture. Truth, 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 truth. Right? And I'm here to say that you don't need to be a genius to know God. Okay? My wife was at Smoky Mountain the other day ministering to the kids. Do you think they know Trinitarian theology? No. Right? And she was at another thing yesterday, helping out some kids and donating shoes to the kids. Do you think they know Trinitarian theology? No. But they know love here. They may not see it. They may not see it in their parents or in their siblings or in their circumstances because they're living in the dumps. Right? But deep down they know that someone's there. Right? And what I'm trying to get people to do, because I receive emails from people telling me, Josh just reads the Bible following his emotions. He just follows his emotions. I'm not saying you just follow with whatever you feel, okay? Not everything you feel is good, right? But I'm here to say this. If you do not live from your heart or you feel, you're not living in love. And in other words, you're just going to be living out empty religion. Right? Now, we just had our anniversary the other day. Now, imagine I buy a bunch of roses for my wife, and then my wife's back there like, you didn't buy me roses for our anniversary, right? I did it, right? But I took her out. But anyways, imagine I buy her a bunch of roses for our anniversary, and I say, honey, happy anniversary. I love you. And then she says, do you mean that, Josh? Well, not really. It's just our anniversary. It's something that we're supposed to do as men, as husbands. Women, is that love? No. Now imagine, now it's possible, right? I could cheat on my wife. God forbid, right? Now imagine I could just mess around with a bunch of people, but then I choose not to. And someone says, Josh, why do you not cheat on your wife? And I tell people, well, I'm just trying to be obedient to the scriptures. Women, is that a loving answer? That your husband is simply being faithful to you because he's trying to be obedient to the scriptures? Maybe some of you might think that's love. But let me tell you what I think is a better answer. And I think the better answer is that the reason why I won't mess around or go with other people, go with other girls, because I love my wife. I feel it in my heart. Am I obeying the scriptures? Sure. Right? But a lot of people, thanks bro, a lot of people think that obeying the scripture is merely something that you just do, and it's not something that you live from the heart. And I'm telling you, the Christian life cannot be lived unless it's lived from the heart. It's very simple. Like I said, even a child can understand. Is this making sense, folks? That whatever you do, love matters. And that if there is no love in the ultimate sense, it doesn't matter. Let me start off with this question, okay? How many of you have experienced rejection before? Raise your hand. Okay, and if we're really going to be honest with ourselves, all of us are going to raise our hands because on some level, you've experienced it, right? Now, just be open to this. Some of us, we've experienced rejection from our dad. Right? Sometimes it feels like our dad's not there. Right? He's there in the home, but he's not really there. You know what I mean, right? Or we experience rejection from our mom. Or, we even experience rejection from groups at church. Or we've experienced rejection at school. You're trying to fit in. Because, we've all been there. I know I've tried to fit in, right? Try to be cool. Or maybe some of you have even experienced rejection from your spouse, saying, I don't want to be with you anymore. And maybe some of us, we even experienced and believed that you've been experiencing rejection from God because of your current situation that you're in. Maybe some of you are struggling with health. Maybe some of you are struggling financially. And there's that part of you that's saying, God, are you even there? Right? Because folks, if we could just be honest with ourselves, that when you speak to a lot of Christians, a lot of it is just, it's fake. It's just facade. In the Philippines, we say mask. Because we have to look okay because we're Christian. Right? But deep down, we're really hurting. And we just don't want to lose our position at church or whatever it may be, or we don't want to look unspiritual to the people that look up to us. Right? And for those of us who have experienced rejection, and maybe some of us have tried to spend our entire lives trying to find approval. You know those types of people, they're always trying to seek your approval? Or they're always trying to be accepted by something that they do? Why is that? Now, have we taken the time to reflect and to ask why rejection hurts us so much? Have you ever thought about that? Because I don't know about you, I know when I suffered from rejection, it really hurt, man. Like you just feel like you don't belong, or you feel like you're different from other people. Or sometimes even in the Philippines, I'm not judging anybody here, but sometimes because of your social class, you think you're better than other people. Or if you're a Filipino and you speak English, sometimes they could feel like they're even more superior. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I've seen that. I've been here for 3.5 years. And it saddens me. That's the thing. It's like when you feel different, when you feel like you don't belong, it really, really hurts. And some of us, we've had these experiences at home of rejection. And sometimes you even feel it now because you have all these memories going on in your mind where you feel scarred. And it really hurts, where you even wonder, how in the world did this rejection even exist where it still affects me to this day? Why? Why is that? And I think I know the answer. And I think the answer is because it's the way we're created. I think it's the way we're wired, so to speak. Right? And I think the reason why rejection hurts us so much is because we were made for rejection. We were made for acceptance. We were meant to belong. Right?